Hi folks. What I want to do today in this video is walk you through the basic steps of how to do research and gather material for an archival project for this class. Now, I want to point out that there's three different kinds of materials that you could gather on the internet. And today I'm just going to focus on audio. The other two types would be photo or video. Of course, there's also text, I suppose, so that makes it four. But in any case, I think that capturing photo is pretty straightforward, so you probably don't need a video tutorial on that. And as far as capturing video goes, you're not required to do that at any point this semester. If you do capture video for one of these archival projects and you want to edit it in, just make sure you still follow the requirements of the given project itself. But also, you probably want to use a video editing software like either iMovie or Adobe Premiere, and so that's a whole other story. So I'm just going to focus today on how you capture audio. And before I really get going with that, I do want to just point out that, as I'm sure all of you guys understand, you can't just sort of grab whatever you like on the internet because there are issues with copyright. Um, but there's a clause called fair use, which means that for educational purposes, basically, we are able to put things together and to share them with each other. And so what you're doing is protected under that. But because copyright is such an important issue, and I would be remiss if I didn't make you aware of that as we were doing this type of a project, what I will do is post a reading for you about copyright and about rights, and I'll put up a quick quiz on LaLima. So obviously doing an archival project is just one option that you have for these projects this semester. But if you do choose to do an archival project, I'm going to ask you to do the reading and fill out the LaLima quiz, and I'll have that up pretty soon. So more specifics about that to come, but just keep in mind that one part of this project will be to fill out a quiz about rights on LaLima. So without further ado, let me get going about how to find and then download or create sound files that you can bring into Audacity and use to edit them. So let me first start by showing you probably two of the easiest sites or easiest ways you could do something like that. For one thing, there are quite a number of sound files that are available through National Public Radio and through their website, npr.org. Now, just to kind of show you both what's there and also what's not there, let me go to npr.org for starters. And if I go to search and I pull this down or dates, you'll see it really says only the past year. So although you can go back much further than this past year, um, this site, npr.org, isn't really set up to be a real historical archival research site. Having said that, it's got quite a lot of material on it, but there are real limits to that. So if I were to, for example, do I mean, National Public Radio has been producing content since the early 70s. But if I were to do National Public Radio audio archives, I end up in a little bit of a fishing expedition. Now, that's not to say that I might not find some, you know, great resources here like this one, where I'm able to kind of reach back in time and grab audio. But, even if I do this, like for example, if I were to do, let's say, so for this video, I'm going to use surfing as a project that I'm looking into. So if I do, say, surfer, Hawaii, let's see what it brings up. So here's one from 1984, but can I download this? Doesn't look like it. So this might be fascinating, but then I'm still faced with the same challenge that I have with other ones, which is how do I actually grab this? How do I get an MP3 of it, and how do I bring it into Audacity in order to edit it? So right there we have a bit of a challenge. But if we just go with npr.org, okay, back to my original plan, and we go to search, okay, let's say I want to find something that was in All Things Considered, and I'm just going to leave all dates because I'm really interested in doing a project about surfing, say in the, decades ago, like 60s, 70s, or 80s. So I do surfers, and it's got me with stuff from 2018 or whatever, but I can flip this around and I can go to oldest. Okay, now look at this. This is from 1996. Well, that's getting close to maybe what I want to see. But if I click on this, I see, oh, there's no audio here. Well, okay, probably same with this one. No audio. But going down just a little bit further, 2003. So this is from 20 years ago. This might be interesting. Maybe I'll expand my window a little and incorporate stuff from, the early 2000s as part of what I want to do my surfing thing on. And in that case, it's pretty simple. I can just hit this download button and I end up with, as you can see here, an MP3 of this file. Now, again, keep in mind there's a rights issue here. I mean, we really are trying to do things in the style of NPR, at least just for starters, to learn how to do audio storytelling. So in some ways, it's great that we're able to get just material like this straight from NPR. But keep in mind that if you're going to do like the multi-track audio project, you've got to narrate the story. And so what you would be grabbing from an MP3 like this is just little bits of it, like little sound bites from interviews, or maybe some Natch sound or something like that, that you then interweave into your own story that you narrate, and you're going to need to really carry the storytelling for it. So keep that in mind. So that's what we've got with NPR. Now, of course, that's a little bit limited. And so maybe we want to try another major site where it's relatively easy to find downloads. And so maybe we go to archive.org. So I found this on archive.org, and let me just sort of walk you through how I found it. So I go to archive.org, which is just a vast collection of materials kind of from all over the place. Now, one of the issues is it's a little bit clunky to use, but we'll just do the best we can. So I'm going to go for an advanced search. I'm going to say I want audio, and I'm going to say I want audio about surfers, and maybe I'll just keep it that simple for now. Let's see how we do. Okay, well, I end up with a lot of stuff. A lot of this looks like just music. I'm not going to be able to use it. Now, I could try doing interviews, surfers, and then add a field for interviews. I'm not sure if that would improve things. But if I keep looking down, I've got a lot of stuff here, a lot of it. These look like a podcast that doesn't, necessarily, isn't necessarily going to be helpful to me. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But what I really want is some old interviews. So is there anything here that fits that? Well, look at this. I found this Dad's First Surfboard. What is this about? Well, I go to it, and it says, Dad talks about his first surfing experiences back in the 1930s. And sure enough, I can get an MP3 of it to download. So how does this sound?
When did you get your first surfboard?
My first what?
Yeah, when was the first time you surfed, and when did you get your first surfboard? When did that happen?
My first surfboard?
Yeah.
Well, we used to they used to surf on paddle boards, you know.
Yeah.
That was before they made, and before they came out with the balsa board.
Mm-hmm.
The full balsa board was, then after the full balsa board, they
Okay, so I mean that's one thing, but it looks like I didn't have such terrific luck with archive.org, even though there's lots of stuff on archive.org. Maybe I just need a better search term. You know, I'm not quite sure. But in any case, you know, I am able to directly download from archive.org, so that's a good thing. If I keep searching, maybe I find something like this. I was looking specifically for something about surfing in the 70s, and I did find this.
We're here in Santa Monica Red Bull headquarters for the West Coast premiere of a surf film called Lost and Found, and I have none other than surf legend photographer Dan Merkel. How you doing?
I'm doing excellent, thanks.
It is really an honor to be here with you, man.
Oh, thanks.
What'd you think of the movie?
I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, for me it's personal because of the images and seeing those surfers, you know, the photos of them and now. I mean, everybody's gotten older. I mean, I shot those photos 35 years, 40 years ago.
Let me give the viewers a little background here. This movie came about because Doug Walker, the director of the film, the guy who put it all together, happened to come across about 30,000 negatives of a lot of the pictures that this man right here, Dan, took from the 70s of all these legendary surfers at a swap meet, a flea market in Pasadena.
Okay, so that looks pretty cool. If I want to grab this, then it looks like maybe my best option is as a QuickTime video. But that's not an MP3. So, you know, where do we go from here? Well, okay, we can download it, right? And that's going to take a few minutes to download. But essentially, once we have something like that, what we have to do at that point is basically turn it into a sound file. Once it's a sound file, we can then open it in iTunes and convert it into an MP3. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So that file, since it's like 600 megabytes practically, is going to take several minutes to download. So instead, I'm just going to show you with an example of another really short video that I have. So here is what it ends up looking like in QuickTime. We would do export and then audio only. And then, you know, maybe we, just for the sake of illustration, we'll call this convert to MP3. And now it's on my desktop. And there it is right there. If I double click on it, it's going to open it in iTunes.
They don't come here so much for the waves. They come here to be seen by other people rather than just to learn.
just trying to get away from it. Too much.
So, okay, now I've got it here, and I'm in my iTunes application, as you can see down here. And I'm going to go to convert, and now, you know, if you don't have an updated version of iTunes, this may be an issue, but otherwise you should have this option which says create MP3 version. Now the file management I've found with iTunes is pretty frustrating, but in any case, you hit the create MP3 here, and then you should be able to find it relatively simply in your iTunes like list in your iTunes library. So right here, I find it, and now I can import this into Audacity in order to edit my project and create my project. So that's how you would download, like, say, a QuickTime video. Getting back to where we were at, you know, I'm thinking, okay, this is pretty cool, but if I'm doing an audio only project, for say, let's say I'm working on my, I'm using Archival to do my multi-track audio story, this isn't maybe great because of the emphasis on photography in this clip. So maybe I still need to keep searching, and maybe I'm not happy with what I found on either npr.org or on archive.org, even though, you know, it was relatively simple to just find something and download it. So at that point, I've got to think about, well, how can I capture just stuff that I can, if I can stream it on the web, how do I actually capture it and make it into an MP3? And there are different ways to do that. We could call them hacks, different ways to kind of grab things like this. But the way I'm going to recommend to you all is to use a program called Black Hole. And so I'm going to show you right here on this video how to find it and install it. But as far as like how to really set it up on your Mac, it really is pretty simple to do. I did it in about 5 minutes, but what I'm going to do is on our Journalism 200 website, I'm going to post a link to a YouTube video where a guy walks you through how to install it and configure it for your Macintosh. And like I said, it should really only take you about 5 minutes to set it up, and then once you do, you can pretty much capture anything that you can stream on the internet as an MP3. So having said that, let me just show you how you would install it. So basically, I'm going to go install Black Hole. I'll do install Black Hole for Mac. And then I click on that. Internet's moving a little slowly. And I click on this download installer. And you're going to need to, you know, register for the site. So you would put in your email address, first name and last name, and then you'll end up getting an email like this. So you then click on that, and it'll go ahead and download the program, and then you're going to have to set it up. So as far as that goes, I've sent you guys over to this guy. I'm going to put this video, a link to this video, up on our Journalism 200 website, as I just mentioned. And he basically is going to walk you through how to set it up. So
And
yeah,
space,
as you can
open
see,
up
he's going to show you how to install and configure it.
Spotlight search, or come to this magnifying glasses here. It'll open up the same window. We're going to do audio MIDI setup. For those who are curious, I can let you know, click on the application, utility is this one right here. It's audio MIDI setup. You're going to see this window pop up, and Black Hole 16 channel is right here, sitting right here. The CH means 16 channels, okay? So what do we do is there are two stages from here. First one, you want to click on this plus sign. So you want to create an aggregate device.
Okay. And like I said, that should take you really only about 5 minutes to set up. And once you have, what you can do is you can basically use your QuickTime player on your Mac to record any streaming audio. Now, if you have a PC, I'm also posting instructions for how you can do the same thing with a PC. But if you run into problems with it or you get stuck, then maybe reach out to me and I'll try and walk you through it. Okay, so having said that, once you have Black Hole set up and configured with QuickTime, you can pretty much grab stuff on the internet. And what I think you'll find is that, you know, what I found with my Surfer project was that there are a lot more options now available to me once I could sort of screen record. So like if I go over to YouTube, I found all kinds of stuff. So for example, you know, maybe I want to grab this recording. So first thing I'm going to do is get everything rolling on QuickTime. So I'm going to select QuickTime. Here I am right here. I'll delete that. When I'm in QuickTime, I'm going to go to, let me see if you can't see it, but I'm going to pull down the File menu on my QuickTime thing, which looks like it's just outside of the screen capture here. But basically what I've got on the top of my screen up top is my menus for my QuickTime player. So I go to File, and then I'm going to go to New Audio Recording, and it pulls up this window. So I'm going to pull this down, and I actually, following that video that I was just showing you with that guy who shows you to how to configure Black Hole, I've created this option for myself of QuickTime Player input. So I'm going to select that right now, and now I'm good to go. So all I have to do is hit record on this, and then click record here.
It's not that they lack concern, but they lack enough concern to really look at a problem and figure out what might be an answer, like the Cold War and all that sort of thing. They're concerned that it might affect them physically, or it might affect their fun, but that's the extent of it, you know.
I like this part right here where the two of them talk.
They don't come here so much for the ways, they come here to be seen by other people rather than just to learn.
Just trying to get away from too much control, too much being held down. I guess all ages are like that when they reach teenage. But these days, it's even worse because you got so much hanging over your head. You have to worry about it, school, the job, social life, getting away from the parents. They're afraid to face it. I mean, it's just rotten. The whole generation is just completely mashed out. They just don't care.
So, okay, actually, what I really like is this part right here.
They don't come here so much for the ways, they come here to be seen by other people rather than just to learn.
Just trying to get away from too much control, too much being held down. I guess all ages are like that when they reach teenage. But these days, it's even worse because you got so much hanging over your head. You have to worry about it, school, the job, social life, getting away from the parents. They're afraid to face it. I mean, it's just rotten. The whole generation is just completely mashed out. They just don't care.
People lack.
So, okay, now I'd hit stop. And again, I would save this as a QuickTime file and then import it into iTunes and convert it into an MP3. And then I can import that MP3 in Audacity in order to, you know, combine it with my other clips and with my voiceover narration to create my project. Having said that, I'm not sure that I'm totally crazy about this clip because the sound quality isn't that great. I mean, again, remember with archival storytelling, it's all about the quality of the archival material that you use. So you not only want to find high quality archival material in the first place, but if you find different versions of the same video or the same audio, you really want to kind of dig to make sure that you're grabbing the highest quality version of that video or audio you can find. So maybe I keep going and I end up finding this on YouTube.
57, 58, I mean, people just stop and look at it. There's something you've never seen before. First, I hadn't seen many people riding away, let alone cutting across the way. See, cutting across the way just mesmerised. We'd never seen it before. And there would have been probably 30 surf clubs watching. And I was blessed to be there.
So that's pretty good, but this is kind of Australian surfing. Here we got California surfing.
For the California surfer and the California girls, it seemed like a fantasy dream come true. But soon, everything we knew about society and surfing was going up in flames. Where we used to ride bigger surfboards on smaller waves, 4 years after, we were riding smaller surfboards on bigger waves. The shorter surfboards offered a range of maneuvers never before dreamed possible. It was the early 70s, and you could still carve a hard bottom turn, get a short nose ride, and swing a roundhouse cutback. Off the lip was just...
So that's pretty good, but I don't know. It's not, maybe I really want to narrow this whole story and make it about Hawaii and local surfing. So if I keep digging on YouTube, turns out I can find material like this.
One of the spots on the North Shore for surfing is the Bonsai Pipeline, which is just to the left of Sunset Beach. The pipeline is Hawaii's most spectacular wave. The crowd stood on shore, watching the circus out in the water. One of the younger surfers to ride the pipeline was Stanley Parks, known to his friends as Savage because of his dark tan.
Okay, so that's pretty good, and you know, but maybe although the Batman stuff is cute, maybe it's pretty long, and so I really want to be ruthless with my edits. So maybe there's just a few seconds of that clip that I want to use. But that's essentially the kind of thing you want to do as you do the research for this. And that pretty much wraps up my video for this. I hope this was helpful, and reach out to me if you have any questions. Thanks.